everyone, and welcome back to Nang Talks Boxing. First of all, I just want to say sorry for not uploading for a couple of days. I had to get a replacement laptop charger, so I couldn't use my laptop to film stuff. But now we're all back up and running, so just wanted to do a couple of videos on some of the fights of this card. Well, the big, obviously the main event of this card this weekend, we've got a couple of cards coming up this weekend, is that of Gervonta Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. And this will be for the WBA Lightweight World Championship. So we just had the weigh-in a couple of hours ago, and Frank Martin didn't look particularly good at the weight. Tank looked pretty good at the weight. He looked very good at the weight. So that's probably going to play an extra factor, but it doesn't change the way I think this fight's going to play out. So let's talk about them. So Frank Martin, obviously the challenger in this fight. He's had a couple of good wins here and there. He had the one against that fella that was impersonating Ali. That was quite a good win. It'll come to me. Michelle Rivera, that's the one. He had quite a good win over him. That wasn't his last fight. That was the fight before, I believe. But nonetheless, that was a good win for his career and progressing forward. Probably a lot wider than people expected as well in that fight, which is was also a 12-round fight, which is going to be some handy experience in this fight. Also, some wins over some, decent operators. Romero Duno, who had been in there with Ryan Garcia as well. And who else? He was also in there with there was a guy that Rowley should have lost to, I'm sorry, who Frank Martin also fought. A lot of people forget about that fight, actually, that earlier on there was a very controversial fight that Rowley had, but Frank Martin made pretty easy work of him. And of course, Gervonta Davis coming off a very big momentum fight against Ryan Garcia. I mean, obviously, coming off what Ryan Garcia did against David Haney, that's Adrian's very good win. Despite what you think about the weight circumstances, I definitely had some very strong feelings on that, but that's for another day. But yeah, I only really see this fight going one way, but I'm usually quite cynical of Gervonta Davis. I wouldn't say I'm a super fan of him or anything, but you've got to respect him, I guess. Now, the reason I say I only see this going one way is I think Frank Martin's style really suits Gervonta Davis. Frank Martin, he's got decent defense. He isn't particularly known for his defense, and he's from that Derek James kind of style of training, where it's very much, pressure based, and even though he can box backwards, it's mainly based off, accumulation, body shots and stuff, sinking in as the fight goes on, and doing it off that basis. And I think that really plays into Tank Davis's arsenal. Reason being, we've got Tank Davis is coming off that win against Ryan Garcia. Of course, Ryan Garcia, very much fast twitch guy, fast twitch muscle kind of guy. Muscle, sorry. So he's coming off a win against a very fast twitch guy, and then he's going in against a guy that's more slow twitch based. Not saying Frank Martin doesn't have fast twitch qualities as well, but he's very much more relies on his slow twitch qualities to get the job done. So it's going to be like going between night and day for Gervonta Davis, and the weigh-in certainly didn't help Frank Martin's cause. Um, so I'm going to make a pretty bold prediction here, but I'm going to say I believe Gervonta Davis ends it inside 6 rounds, and no, inside 7 rounds. Um, I believe, as usual in Gervonta Davis fights, there will be a feeling out process, but there are so many ways for Gervonta Davis to win here. Um, Obviously, in Frank Martin's last fight against Harringtonian, um, he was visibly rocked by some body shots in that fight, and he did lose a lot of rounds in that fight as well. So he's not particularly known for being a master boxer or anything. So he didn't have that to go off either. Um, Obviously, he will be southpaw, but Gervonta Davis fought southpaws before, and I don't think that's going to be an impact in this fight because I don't think you're going to see the same southpaw foot battles and stuff, and it might actually play to Tank's advantage because of some of his best shots that he's got. Um, but yeah, I just see it might be close when the stoppage happens, but that's just the nature of Gervonta Davis fights because of the way that he fights. Trying to get a read of you, trying to set you up, and that's the whole measure of his game. And I just find it hard to see. Well, I know how Frank Martin could win in theory, but I just find it hard to see that path of victory happen in this fight because of the qualities of Gervonta Davis and the way that he measures you and measures your game. And I don't think Frank Martin's going to be able to match that in this fight. So drop me your thoughts. I'm sure that's might be quite a controversial pick, even though I'm sure most of you are probably picking Gervonta Davis, but maybe not in the same fashion I am. But let me know what you think, and I'll have some more videos coming out soon.